Hi there, and welcome to the end of EDTECH537, Blogging in the Classroom. We've reached the end of week 8, and I'm glad that you're still with us. It's been a fun 8 weeks, oddly enough, a quick 8 weeks, at least from my standpoint. I'm not sure about from your standpoint. This is actually the first time that I've recorded a concluding or a conclusionary video, a summary video, if you will, at the end. But it's something that I thought I might add this year for a couple of reasons. First, because I've actually found a couple of resources, or at least one anyway, that I wanted to draw to your attention now that the course is over or about over. You'll note that in the course materials, after the weekly checklist, which is normally the last item in each of the weekly categories, you'll see that in addition to this video, there was also a link to an article from Edutopia called "Do Educators Really Need Blog Posts?" One of the things you'll note is that many of the readings that you've had throughout the course of the semester have been things that, in all honesty, that I've used really since I first designed this course back in 2011. While I go through and sort of update the links every single year, I've been quite happy with the readings and how they parallel, the practical or academic side of what I want you to get out of this course, while the actual blogging takes care of the application side of things. So you'll note that most of them are from the the 2000 and 0 something, or maybe 2010 or 2011. And while there have been updates to blogging and how blogs are seen, I think those are still really useful kinds of things in many respects, because many of the authors at the time were new to blogging in much the same way that many of you are new to blogging. Having said that, the item that's right above the concluding video, this Edutopia article that's entitled "Do Educators Really Need Blog Posts?" I think is an interesting one because it's only a couple of months old. If I remember correctly, it was published at the end of May of this year, so as we're finishing up the course at the beginning of August, you're looking at something that's really only a little bit better than 2 months old, and it sort of gives you a more updated perspective on primarily K-12 teachers, although I think folks in other educational environments as well, and the role that blogs may or may not play in their professional lives. So I think it's sort of a nice way to end off the course. In addition to that, I just want to again say thank you for an interesting semester. Obviously, I'm trying to record all of these in advance of the actual semester taking place, so that way you have all of the materials available before you. So I can't say this with all certainty, although based on past practice, I can say this with some degree of confidence. I know that I've learned a great deal from you throughout the semester. In most years, and I suspect this year will be no different, the topics that folks decide to blog upon are quite varied in nature, from things that are personal to them to things that are more practical to them, and the range of contexts and the range of topics are going to be quite varied. So I'm quite confident that I will learn a great deal from you over the course of the semester. I guess at this stage I have learned a great deal from you over the course of the semester, and I hope that you've taken away some things from me throughout the semester, and that as you move forward into your coming academic year, be it in the K-12, higher ed, or other environments, that you consider blogging to be part of your pedagogical quiver, if you will, another arrow in your pedagogical quiver. I always find it interesting because I continue to keep all of your blogs in my RSS feed. So I have all the blogs from previous semesters in my RSS feed. And I always find it interesting to see who continues on blogging throughout. And it actually, I get a strong sense of accomplishment, or a sense that, folks have actually taken something away from my course when I see them continuing to blog. And I can think of at least 3 people from that very first time that I offered the course, when we actually only had 8 or 9 folks in there, that are still blogging to this day. And there's another 3 or 4 from the second semester, and I think 2 or 3 or maybe 4, but I think it's 3 from last summer that are still blogging on the blogs that they created, and that's just the ones that I know about. You know, for example, if you decide to continue blogging but create a new blog, obviously I wouldn't know about that. I wouldn't have that in my RSS feed. So there may be others that are continuing to blog, but you know, I get a chance to see some of those. The same thing with the Twitter, the microblogging. You know, I hope that you found that useful, and I hope that you continue to do that. And you know, I'm following all of you now, as I have been throughout the semester, and I'm going to continue to follow all of you. And I always find it interesting to see, you know, who continues on with Twitter and with microblogging, and you know, who I see interacting with it. So you know, those are some of the things that I'm looking forward to now that the class is concluding, to see how things, you know, have influenced you throughout the semester. And while the class is over, I'm hoping that, you know, if there's ever anything that I can do on you know, the front of blogging or microblogging in the future that you've got questions about, that you'll feel comfortable and free to reach out to me and you know, ask any of those questions that you have, or if there's any way I can help you, just to let me know. So I look forward to, you know, seeing what you're up to in the future, and thank you again for a great semester.